day, Chief here. Day late, dollar short, oh well. Today's topic is politics in military, or military in politics, however the correct title should be. Now, in my formative years, meaning my enlisted career, I was told repeatedly by regular officers, you can participate in political campaigns and support candidates. But however, you can't do it at work, you can't do it in your uniform, and you especially cannot campaign or go to a rally in your military uniform, whether it's your BDUs, battle dress uniform, yes, this is how old this was for me, or your Class A's, or your Class B's, or your dress blues, because the knuckleheads, and I do mean the knuckleheads, they'll sit there and turn around and look and they'll go, oh my goodness, look, the military is supporting this candidate. And then they assume, as knuckleheads, that everybody in the armed forces is supporting this candidate. When I became a warrant officer, I got to deal with generals more and more because I was serving on staffs that brief colonels and generals and above. And of course I would visit places, other places that were governed by a general, and then we would meet with, sometimes we would meet with the general, sometimes we'd meet with his second in command or whatever. So I was around a lot of generals as a warrant officer, and it got to the point where the higher I went in rank, the less they bothered me, because, you know, you're young and it's like, oh, a general's coming. Everybody panics. The general's coming. You know, spick and span this place. You know, get every fleck of dust. Get that paper in order. Get that pencil. Get all the pencil sharp. I mean, it got that crazy at some of the places I served. It was like they just went overboard in cleaning and making sure that everything was nothing was out of order. And then, of course, a few commanders I worked with, they had the sense, no, don't do that. Because if you show that, it looks like we're not working. He says, I want your desks to be what they look like normally during your work hours, because that shows you are working. And the general does not want to see, oh, it's a clean desk. Well, you don't have nothing to do. You know, that's what some people would assume the general would think. So throughout my warrant officer years, the last 12, 14 years of my career, there were a lot of minor military actions that took place that didn't involve troops necessarily all the time to land and take care of a problem, but it was mostly, let's do it by air. My cat just leaped off the landing counter and spooked me a little bit. And I don't remember what general it was, probably several, but I don't remember exactly what Democrat president it was that got told no by his chief of staff. I mean, it's probably happened frequently, but I was told and groomed that if you want to say no, you got to have a reason. And to back up your reason, you either A, got to have the documents or a plan to show why you said no. So in other words, no, you can't bomb this wedding party, but however, comma, we got his honeymoon route. So you can take him out with his bride and a driver and maybe a couple of his henchmen. But sometimes the commander-in-chief will be told no, and just assuming here, not speaking for a commander-in-chief, but he's the ultimate boss, and you know, his word is the final say, so he may not want to listen to the reason or the new information as to why he was told no. Integrity and honor are my watchwords. Integrity is the main thing. I think I've spoken about it many times. You break your integrity, all your truthfulness, all your influence goes out the window, and it's a hard thing to earn back in troops. Now, we have heard from, if you watch, I watch a lot of Forbes business news with the Senate hearings and the other hearings and the interviews and the swearing, or not the swearing-ins, but the assessing of the new people coming in and old people going out and people having to answer for their actions. And we have heard it from the horse's mouth that, not exactly from Forbes, I think, that he said, yes, President Trump in his first term gave me an order that I should call the Chinese to let them know that we might attack them, or something along that lines. I don't remember the exact verbiage. I didn't bother to look it up. But he has since said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Well, first off, that's your job not to say I'm not going to do that. The Commander-in-Chief gave you an order or an instruction, and you're not supposed to just say, well, yes sir, I will do that, and then go off and not do it. We all know who I'm talking about. Throughout my military career, let's see, been out now for what, 12 years almost. So yeah, adding 12 to his years, that means probably he was doing 18 or if not more. I never worked with this individual, and I never was in an office or a unit that probably he served in. He could have been there on in another office and just never met the individual. So we all know who I'm talking about, General Milley. I heard that Trump removed his portrait from the line of commanders-in-chiefs. I don't care. I mean, he flat out has told the truth that he defiled an order. And I've noticed that ever since, a lot of our presidents, wow, since what, Reagan? Reagan and Bush, the first Bush, and Carter, have never really served for any length of time in the military. I know Reagan didn't get sent overseas to do any combat. I know Bush did, I know Ford did, Johnson did, Kennedy did, so all those presidents of my youth, they all served, so they knew that probably when they were the commander-in-chief and a general probably told them, you know, Mr. President, no, we should not do it this way, they probably listened because they know that these commander-in-chiefs have a lot, especially back then, had a lot of military strategy and tactics in their head from having been in a World War and the Korean War and part of the Vietnam War. But I think ever since, I know they said Bush Jr. served in the reserves, but I don't care. That really isn't serving to me. I know I'm a little biased, but a lot of, it seems like now the presidents, you know, have not served, don't know what it's like to serve. Because my best friend once asked me why I don't care for Democrat presidents. I'm not going to go into it too much right now. But I told him, I said, Reagan did a lot for the military. And I joined under Reagan. So Reagan did a lot for the military. All the other Republicans have. Because I remember Clinton lowered the enlistment, or the retirement from 50% down to 35%. Whole bunch of people got out. I'm not serving 20 years, only going to get 35%. Obama wanted to lower it down to 17.5%. That got shot down. Does it need to be restructured? In a way, yes. I don't know what the fix is. I'm not one of those statistical persons that can sit there and do the pie chart and say, oh, if we do it this way, you know, you got that big law. I failed statistics in college. But I've noticed that ever since then, a lot of generals that say no don't get forced retirement, but just get put off to the wayside and they get replaced because that happens. And now and especially watching Forbes, business news, breaking news, whatever it's called, seen a lot, especially Millie, was so darn political, and we were told, and he was wearing his uniform too. Of course he had to because he was there as the chief of staff, but doing exactly the opposite of what I was told. Don't be involved in politics wearing your uniform. That's it for today. It's a little bit of a gripe, but it's come up a lot lately. And now with our new Secretary of Defense getting rid of all the DEI programs in the military, one of my sons is in the reserves, and I asked him how that training was a few years ago when it happened. He just said it was mostly BS. So I'm glad to see that gone. Are we going back to the don't ask, don't tell policy? Because, yeah, I don't know what to say about that right now. I'm kind of mixed on it because I was under the don't ask, don't tell. Then all of a sudden you could do that. Because under the don't ask, don't tell, when you told, they had to be chaptered out. And I know a couple people that use that to get out. So, like I said, just a gripe today. Day late, dollar short. I thought about it even yesterday, Friday, but Friday I got involved in playing a game because of the cold weather here in good old San Antonio. So this is Chief out. Remember, freedom's not free. You know what to do with a veteran. Take him out. Show some love. Treat him with kindness, please, no matter where he's from. I have a Vietnam vet and up the street and show him kindness all the time and talk to his wife, and I've talked to him. I haven't seen him lately, so I don't know if he's still around or not. But remember, you know what to do with the vet. Chief out.